We are here tonight to remember and honor our transgender and transsexual dead. We are here tonight in mourning, but we are also here in celebration. We are here tonight to mourn the brutal murders of members of our community, primarily women and primarily women of color, at the hands of those who would seek to destroy us. But we are also here to celebrate their lives, lives lived in authenticity and truth, and the lives of all the people who live in such a way, particularly in the face of the adversity that is all around us. Let's talk first about our grief. Even as I prepared this speech earlier today, more deaths were being reported. As with every Transgender Day of Remembrance, and this is the 13th year of the organized memorial, names are being added to the list of the dead almost up until the very last minute. As we read the accounts of these murders, we grieve. As we imagine the pain of the family, friends, and loved ones of the victims, we grieve. Perhaps some of us have even personally known a victim of trans-related violence, and we grieve. We grieve the loss of vibrant, active, important lives, and we grieve the circumstances that took these people from us unnecessarily and far too soon. And we grieve for a world in which such heinous and unspeakable actions are allowed to continue. Because we are aware that these are not just simple murders, as if any murder was simple. In many cases, these women are not just killed, but brutally assaulted, beaten, burned, dismembered, disfigured, sometimes almost beyond recognition. These murders aren't intended just to kill one woman, but to destroy an entire population. These are not killings. These are attempts at annihilation. And the hatred is still out there. We see it every year, and every year we recognize the tragedy that it has left in its wake. And as we gather together in our grief and despair, we might wonder, what on earth do we possibly have to celebrate? We have plenty to celebrate, because we have hope. Hope is in this very room. If you look around you, this room is filled, not just with trans people, which would be enough in itself, but with friends, family, and allies who are just as concerned about stopping this violence as we are. And they are here with us tonight to support us in remembering and honoring our dead, and to say, we won't tolerate this either. We won't stand by silently and watch this happen. We will work together until the violence is ended, and we will help to make sure that the dead are not forgotten. And this room in Fort Collins, Colorado is not the only one. This weekend, across the state, the country, and the world, there are thousands of rooms just like this one, filled with trans people, family, friends, and allies who are joined together to remember our trans dead and to make a vow to stop this violence, no matter how long it takes, and to make sure that our dead are not forgotten. We are not alone. Events like this are taking place everywhere, and soon the events and the attendees will far outnumber those who seek to do us harm. And eventually the world will take notice of what is happening, and the world will finally say, no more. It may not happen soon. For many of us, it may not happen in our lifetime. And the fact that we are here together tonight says that it will happen sometime. And this is one of the small steps that we must take on that long road to making it happen. And we can celebrate the fact that we are here, and that our family, friends, and allies are here with us to take that small step. There's hope in the victims themselves. We mourn their deaths, but we celebrate their lives, because they had the courage to live authentically right up until the end. Had they hidden their true selves, had they let fear or shame or the hatred of others prevent them from living their authentic lives with all the joy and pain that such a life brings, they would likely be alive today. But what kind of life would they be living? It would probably be no life at all. They made the courageous decision and the supreme sacrifice to live as they wanted, needed, and had to live. And it was absolutely necessary. It could not have happened any other way. So as we grieve for our victims, we also celebrate our heroes. and we recognize that they are one and the same. Hope is in ourselves and in our community. We are here, and by our very presence, we are providing a blueprint for the future. A future of diversity, a future of acceptance, and a future that values all life. We have our own authentic lives to celebrate. None of us knows what will happen to us. None of us knows what we might suffer or what we might have to celebrate in the future. Every day is a new challenge and a new victory. Every day is a new chance to be heard, to be recognized, to live authentically, and to make a difference. It might not be so hopeful right now. As we mourn our dead tonight, hope might seem quite elusive to us. But if you feel that hope has left you in this time of grief and sadness, remember this. Somewhere out there, right at this very moment, there is a little trans child getting ready to be born. He or she does not know yet about the hatred and the hardship that exists in the world right now. But he or she is a symbol of hope. Hope for us, hope for the future, and hope for the world. It is for that child that we stay strong. It is for that child that we join together. And it is for that child that we celebrate ourselves, our lives, and the lives of those who have gone before us. It is for that child that we soldier on to create a new world. I would like to leave you with one thought to take with you as you go out tonight in the cold northern Colorado weather. And it's one of my favorite quotes from a very unexpected source, Mary Ann Pearl. Some of you may remember that Mary Ann Pearl is the widow of Daniel Pearl, an American journalist who was kidnapped, beheaded, and dismembered by members of Al-Qaeda in Pakistan in 2002. Several years ago, I was watching a documentary about Daniel Pearl's death, and in that documentary, Mary Ann Pearl said, "I see happiness as a form of resistance." Of course, she was talking about her husband's killers and her refusal to allow their actions to control her life, no matter how much agony they had caused her. But that quote stuck with me, and it made me think about my own community and the agony that we frequently have to bear, and how we have to fight to keep the actions of others from controlling our lives and our happiness. I see happiness as a form of resistance. For Mary Ann Pearl, the resistance was against her husband's killers. For us, the resistance is against those who seek to destroy us individually and as a community. This is why we both grieve and celebrate. For those who have died, for those still alive, and for that little trans child who is waiting to be born. I see happiness as a form of resistance, and we will continue to resist. They have not destroyed us, they have not eliminated us, and they will not prevent us from mourning our dead, from celebrating our lives, from moving forward, and from always remembering, both with pain at our loss and with joy at the possibility of a new, bright, and hopeful future.